1 or 2 years. Yeah. Some of those died under very mysterious circumstances. Oh my goodness, here comes one of my friends. 안녕하세요. I saw him recently, the Asian Studies. That's Baldwin Balraven, who's the professor of Korean Studies at Leiden University in, where's Leiden? In Leiden. Leiden is in Leiden, which is next to Amsterdam. It's in Holland. It's in Holland. He's a specialist on pansori. Yeah, well, get him over here. Yeah, come over here, talk to us. Anyway, well, let's go on with the 5 relationships between king and subject. Is righteousness between father and child, between parent and child. Notice I neuter it. I neuter it for all you women here. They very often say between father and son. It's usually puja, but I'm saying between parent and child. The relationship is what? Defined by what?
Love.
Fidelity, loyalty, honor,
Filiality is the correct answer, but not here.
Oh yeah.
Not here. In the same way that loyalty is the correct answer between subject and ruler, between ruler and subject. Filial piety we'll talk about later on. But here, when Chu Shi talked about, I'm talking about Chu Shi's definition. Chu Shi said intimacy. Intimacy. And this is important to talk about because most people think that the Korean family relationship is one of very strong formality. And it's formal and obedience and difficult, not... Yeah, you want to shift? You want to sit down?
Yeah.
You can sit down. I was looking... And in spite of that, they are agnostic about it. You can ask an ancestor, well, I mean, you can ask a person, where is your ancestor? I don't know. When we open the spirit gate and they come down the spirit path and they partake of the food, they eat the spiritual essence of the food, then they fly off, or they go off, and we don't know where. And don't ask where. We don't know. And now, if you go to a Buddhist temple, they'll have paintings of the next life. They have 10 paintings of heaven and 10 paintings of hell at Buddhist temples. They know the next life. The next life's a big deal to them. In fact, how many of you had a world religion class? Did they talk about this worldly religions and other worldly religions? That's a useful way of looking at this. Other worldly religions are concerned about the next life. Get me to nirvana. Get me to the celestial kingdom. Get me to heaven. That's where I want to go. That's what it's all about. But not here. Confucianism is only concerned about doing things right in this life. Okay? So, it's interesting. The main religion, or the main ceremony, is the spiritual thing, but you don't know about it. You ask a performer at the ceremonies, where are these spirits? I don't know. And they're satisfied with that, because the master, Confucius, said, we don't know. Leave it alone. Don't go there. It's okay. So there's actually, it's sort of like academic freedom. It's curtailed. You can't go there. You can't ask that question. It's not askable. So it's really kind of interesting the way it works. Yeah.
How many people in Korea today would you say are practicing?
Well, my answer to that is this. If you look at the surveys, Gallup poll does a survey and the government does a survey. The government asks institutions how many believers they have. The Gallup poll asks people how many they have. And they've got these statistics. And every now and again, a student in one of my classes will make a PowerPoint presentation in the culture class and say, 27.8% of the people are Christian and 31.6% of the people are Buddhist, this sort of thing. That's nonsense, because there's some fuzz on the sides of this. So there are some people that are sort of Christian. There's some people that are sort of Buddhist. And so I think a more accurate way to look at it is not 27.6 or whatever, precise number, but to say roughly a fourth of the people are Christian, roughly a fourth of the people are Buddhist. Between a fourth and a third. There's some wiggle room there. Between a fourth and a third are Christian, between a fourth and a third are Buddhists, but you're asking how many are Confucian. On these surveys, just 1 or 2% say, I am Confucian. But in reality, 100% of the people are Confucian. You see? Because Confucianism, as a secular religion or as a non-religion, affects everybody. And these 1 or 2% that say they are Confucian are the people who who are really serious about their Confucianism and say, yeah, that's our religion. But for most people, it's not a religion. In fact, I think the best way to look at this is to not use the word religion at all, but to use the word belief system. If you use the phrase belief system, then a lot of things fit in. For example, when the Marxists took over North Korea, the communists took over North Korea, what's the first thing they destroyed? Religion, right? Why are they out to destroy religion? And what's to take its place? Marxism. Is Marxism religion?
No.
No, but it's filling the void of religion, and so it's a belief system. See, so the word belief system works. It describes Confucianism, it describes all the religions, and it describes Marxism as a substitute, as a conflict, as a competitor for religion. Right? Okay. Yeah.
So it seems that, well, my question is, has the church had a difficult time making a foothold here? Because it seems like some of the ideas of Confucianism in the church is a little bit contradictory in the way that like relationships and things. So has it been difficult for the church to overcome that since it's been introduced here, or has it not been a problem?
It's not been a problem. It's been more of an advantage. Yeah, it's really more of an advantage. I mentioned the name Spencer Palmer just a moment ago, who wrote the book about the ceremony here. He also wrote a book called Korea and Christianity, and in there he makes the argument that the reason Christianity is successful in Korea, more than any other country in East Asia, is because of several factors, and one of them is the fact that Confucianism and Christianity get along at one level.
What interesting too is that Korea's one of the only places where Christianity was introduced first without missionaries. It was just they got the Bible through trade routes.
From China.
Yeah, and like that's when they first started, and I guess it correlated so well that it interested them.
Yeah. Josh, when we talk about Christianity here, we talk about the success of Christianity, not the failure of Christianity. If you talk about Christianity in China, you talk about Christianity in Japan, you talk about the failure of Christianity. Because in both those countries, we're talking about 1 or 2%. You know. And now, if you talk about how our church should be doing better, then that's another matter. But generally speaking, this is a very Christian country. And it's a very Buddhist country, but it's more a Confucian country than it is Buddhist or Christian.
But so this whole aspect of the spiritual belief is not like in Shintoism in Japan where everything has a spirit, or
That's
is
right.
it?
That's right. It's not like that.
It's not like that.
Later on, we'll talk about shamanism.
Okay.
And shamanism is the equivalent of Shintoism, but Shinto in Japan took this native folklore, folk religion, shamanism, and turned it into a state religion. That's what Shinto is.
Okay.
But in Korea, that never happened. And it's still, the folk religion is still out there. And
Okay.
we'll talk about shamanism as we go along.
Here's a quick question. Did the Confucian scholars and the shamans get along?
No. Oil and water. Cat and dog. Yeah.
So then,
No.
when like the spiritual ritual is going on, it's only like human spirits and like
Yes.
the family
yeah.
ancestors.
Yeah, here it's only human spirits.
So nothing else like tree
no
spirits.
animal spirits, no tree spirits. We've got these magnificent trees here, but we're not doing any ceremonies to these trees.
They're just pretty trees.
It was really interesting though in the Chongmyo just now, the woman said that the one shrine over to the side was for the 7-star god. That's folk religion. And I didn't know that was there, and I was surprised by that. That's why I asked her twice to repeat it. And she also said that the other hall, she said the hall to the right side was the 7-star god. And I'll tell you more about that later. That's shamanism. And the hall over here were with the scholars, and she said there were 83 scholars who were enshrined with their kings. I think she's wrong. I think those scholars were enshrined in the hall with the king. And there were certain scholars, like Yulgok, my hero, the 5001 note guy, he's enshrined with King Myeongjong, his hero king. And I think it's inside the same building. I think she was wrong as she described that, but I'll have to look into that some more. But it's interesting that she would say that. I meant to challenge her on that, but I forgot to. It was really
It was funny. It was really funny though, because you like said the question and you're like, "In your place, lady." I was rooting for you.
And then she was like, "Good question," but then we were like, "Oh," she's like, "Dang you."
Okay, So we're talking about the 5 relationships between the king and the subject. There is
Righteousness.
between the parent and the child. There is what?
Intimacy.
Between husband and wife, there is what?
Love.
You
Service.
wish. You wish.
Oh, I'm so sad.
Obedience.
No. No.
Subjectability.
No. No.
Just tell us.
Passion.
Separation.
Whoa.
Separation of duties. You didn't see that one coming. You thought separation is the first step to divorce, but it's not separation like that. It's separation of duties. The husband does husband things and the wife does wife things.